Unbrickme ground, Bush Plane 421908 at the Technic ramp, information Sierra, closed traffic. Bush Plane 421908, runway 21 left, taxi via Foxtrot Delta. The LEGO Technic Bush Plane is my favorite set of the January 2025 wave. On November 13th, I passed my private pilot check ride, and so I want to provide you with a unique perspective on this set because I'll be comparing this set to a Cessna 172, which is what I fly, because the planes look nearly identical, just like Robert and my dad. The most obvious difference between the two is that the Bush Plane is a tailwheel aircraft for which you need a tailwheel endorsement, whereas the 172 is a tricycle gear setup with a third wheel being directly under the engine cowling. Another difference is that the Cessna 172 has 2 prop blades, whereas this one has 3. Just below the right wing, there are some Technic lift arms sticking out, and if you push them, you end up activating the prop. It is such a fun play feature and a genius mechanism for such a small set. It is very similar to the firefighter aircraft we got in March 2023. It is so much fun to play with, and you can actually lift up this entire cowling to reveal the engine. In the 172, you can't lift up the cowling half, but you can open a little door on the right side to check the oil. Just like the latest 172, it is a 4-cylinder horizontally opposed reciprocating engine. The 172 uses the Lycoming IO360 L2A, which has a total displacement of 360 cubic inches, 90 per cylinder, and 180 horsepower at 2700 RPM. 2700 is the red line, so you always want to be below 2700, and I personally like to cruise around 2550 RPM to leave a buffer for turbulence and things like that. The real engine is also normally aspirated, which means it does not use a turbocharger or a supercharger to compress the air or the air-fuel mixture, and as a result the performance of the engine directly depends on how high you are. We do get some control surfaces here at the empennage. Unfortunately, one of the primary controls is missing, which is the rudder. It seems like this aircraft is unable to make coordinated turns or counteract the left turning tendencies. If you can name the 4 main left turning tendencies you'd experience in a general aviation aircraft like this, please let me know in the comments below. Of course, we do get a movable elevator, and in the Cessna 172, there is actually an elevator trim tab on the right side. On the wings, we do get some ailerons, but unfortunately no flaps. Considering this is a bush plane, I think that flaps would be an essential component of this aircraft because they allow you to land at a much shorter distance and do a slower approach. Obviously, you can still land without flaps. Here is a fun fact. In the Cessna 172, your short field approach speed is 61 knots, your normal landing speed is 65 knots, and a no-flap landing speed is 70 knots. You can still easily add flaps here. All you need to do is to just use 2 smaller beams instead of the singular long beam. The inner one would become the flap, and the outer one would become the aileron. As we go here to the wing tip, we notice that there is no position light here, which means this aircraft cannot fly at night. Position lights need to be turned on from sunset to sunrise, and from the beginning of civil twilight to the end of civil twilight, you're able to log night time. Civil twilight simply means the sun is 6 degrees below the horizon, which occurs about 30 minutes after sunset. Finally, an hour past sunset until an hour before sunset, you can log night landings. Here on the leading edge of the wing, we notice 2 sets of lights. I assume one of them acts as the taxi light, and if both are on, that means the landing light is activated. On the Cessna 172, it's just a singular light block on the leading edge, which just becomes brighter when you activate the landing light. This LEGO Technic Bush Plane will be released on January 1st, and will retail for a measly $28 while containing 333 pieces. This gives a price to parts ratio of 8 cents per piece, which is a great deal. This is easily my favorite set of the January 2025 wave, and now I really want an official, large-scale, licensed Cessna 172. I want it to have everything from the major control surfaces all the way down to tiny little details like the mixture control knob. This is a great set for any aviation enthusiast, and if you're a pilot, you'll especially appreciate a general aviation plane like this. But what about the cons of this set? Well, I wish that the rudder was movable. Yaw is pretty important in the control of an airplane. Besides that though, I believe that this set is perfect. It just gave me so much joy to play with, and it looks so close to a Cessna 172, it's truly amazing. If you would like to get more reviews of the January 2025 Technic sets, then make sure to subscribe. This is your Unbrickme here, and I'll see you in the next one.